You're listening to Offshoring and Outsourcing in Philippines. Our regular podcast that looks at the BPO industry in the Philippines and the opportunities for both offshoring and outsourcing as they might apply to customers in Australia, New Zealand, the US, UK, Canada, in fact anywhere in the world. The Philippines, as you know, has some wonderful resources for offshoring, including a large English-speaking population, an excellent education system, and a wages structure that makes it commercially viable to invest in the Philippines. Shortly you'll be hearing my colleague Henry Acosta, who will tell you who's been interviewed for this episode. We interview people who run business process outsourcing companies, people who are customers of business process outsourcing, people who have been customers and are now not customers, so good, bad or ugly. We like to talk to people and share their experiences in the offshoring and outsourcing industry with you. Each week you'll hear our presenters interviewing Philippines businesses or customers of Philippines businesses. The presenters are myself, Wayne Buckler, Patrick Reyes, and Henry Acosta.
For our first guest, we have Sohan David of Tactical Business Services. Our interview starts at the 1 minute and 55 second mark of the podcast. Our second guest is Gerard Lacbayan Jr. of Expert Global Solutions, and our interview starts at the 15 minute and 55 second mark of the podcast. Our third guest is Adam O'Connor of CloudStaff Philippines, and his interview starts at the 26 minute and 55 second mark of the podcast. Our final guests are Stefan Vermeulen and Jennifer Santos of D&V Philippines, which starts at the 35 minute and 10 second mark of the podcast. Hello everyone, welcome to the Outsourcing Philippines podcast. Today we have Sohan David, founder of Tactical Business Services. He has been part of the outsourcing industry since 1997. He has worked with companies that lead Australia in telecommunications such as Telstra, Alliance, and Platinum. Back in 2009, he set up D&G Call Solutions, which would eventually change to Tactical Business Services, an Australia-based BPO for the financial and telecommunications services. Sohan is passionate about helping people meet their true potential and finds great reward in working with people across developed and developing markets. Hi Sohan, and welcome to the show.
Hi Henry, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Can you give us a quick introduction about who you are and how you found Tactical Business Services?
Sure. So my background is that I grew up in Australia and worked in the financial services, but there was definitely a need in my mind for companies to have third-party outsourced services. But in Australia, I guess in the early parts of 90s, it was difficult to bring in this type of business concept because it was new to business from an internal perspective. So one of the challenges that we had was to come up with a way to do business as a third-party service provider. So I remember talking to friends and sharing with them my view, and eventually I just decided one evening I'm going to do it. So I resigned my job and started at that stage what was called D&G Call Solutions. We were very, very early to the market, but I'm glad we persisted.
So where did the inspiration come from of building an outsourcing business, specifically here in the Philippines?
Well, Philippines was always considered a strong outsourcing location. So I think back in 2009, our business got to a stage where we needed to expand offshore. And my job then was to travel to a few destinations and look at what the best fit would be for us. So we went to India, which was the number one destination. We also went to Sri Lanka, where I was born, and in Philippines. And I absolutely felt that this was the right place for us, simply because of the people I met. I think it was great to work with people who were so passionate about providing services, really talented people in customer service, in sales, in technical areas. Mm-hmm. So, it became a very, very easy decision for us to make.
So it was an easy decision for you to make?
A very easy decision for us to make. And we also found that, once you are on the ground setting up a business, while it had challenges, it wasn't difficult to get past to that next level. So, setting up the business, registering businesses, all that needed to be done could be done relatively easily compared to some other places that we were considering.
What do you think is the biggest difference that Philippines has compared to other countries that specialize in outsourcing?
Look, I think having a massive workforce who are so open to the outsourcing industry is the biggest advantage. I think the fact that the education system here has specific courses designed for people to get the most out of companies who outsource. I think that definitely helps. And I think one of the biggest advantages that Philippines have in this region of Asia is that most people speak English. And I think that stands out because there are more and more other locations within Asia that are coming up as prospective outsourced destinations. And one of the major differences I would see there is that naturally they're not English speaking compared to the Philippines.
Were there any cultural barriers that you faced during your transition period here in the Philippines?
Look, there's always cultural barriers. I think no matter where, in the Philippines and in other destinations as well. Personally, I found it easier for me to settle in to the Philippines, and I think that's probably because of my own cultural background, having grown up in Sri Lanka for a while. But I think in terms of the major cultural barrier that I needed to understand and adapt, it's the way that the staff members, the team members respond to each other and to the management directions. I think in the Western world, including Australia, it seems to be a very direct black and white approach to treating people. What we didn't want to do was to bring that type of methodology to the Philippines. We wanted to understand how people work here. We wanted to bring the quality and ensure that our clients would receive a superior quality without compromising on the individuals, how they react to each other, how they get along with each other, and to embrace their own culture while not compromising on the output.
And with regards to tactical business services, what do you think is the main difference compared to your other competitors? Like, let's say, what are your advantages compared to everyone else who's doing outsourcing here in the Philippines?
Sure. We're a smaller, more targeted and a customized outsourcing company. We have great growth potential, but the real difference that we provide for our customers is our ability to very quickly provide a solution. We are very rapid in our change management process. Unlike some of the other BPOs and outsource centers, we don't need a long lag time before we need to change. We're very proactive when it comes to our customers' accounts, and we will be the ones who require change and advise our customers, and we will be also the ones who manage the changes very quickly. From a staff perspective, I think the difference is that we create a friendly family atmosphere. We understand that it's very important for our staff to have that relationship. And what we always say is you spend a lot of time traveling to come to work and you spend a lot of your day at work. We need to make sure that they're in a safe, friendly environment for them to perform better. So those are the real differences for us.
And can you give us any standout experiences from your clients or any testimonials from them?
I think there's been a number. I guess the biggest reward for us is when our clients are happy. We've had a client who's been with us for the last 5 years, and they started off with 6 seats with us. And now at the moment, I think they have over 50 seats with us.
Wow.
But, I think that the great reward was last year, what they wanted to do was to consolidate all their service providers between Philippines and India. And altogether, there were 6 outsourced centers working for them. And now that's been consolidated to 2, and we are one of them. So that's a massive achievement for a company of our nature.
Can you give us an insight on the process for recruiting clients?
Sure. Well, recruiting client, we actually take 2 separate strategies. One is an external strategy. So we will have online marketing and SEO strategy for customers who are looking to potentially work with outsource centers here in the Philippines. And what we do with that is we provide them a helpful type of questionnaire to understand what their values are, what their requirements are, and then we will set up a proposal structure. We also have a very active direct marketing team that works internally, and their job is to identify industries and companies and even small to medium businesses. And we would then engage in a strategy of building relationship, understanding what they need. But that would include cold calling, that would include appointment setting. But we find that seems to be the best strategy for us.
What about employees? What do you look for when you're hiring employees?
Well, we're very focused on this. What we look for is attitude. We strongly believe that we can train people with skills and we can train people on processes. We love the fact that most of our staff have experience in the call center environment, and we love the fact that they have worked in other companies. That gives them a level of greater appreciation for what we offer. But the key component that we look for is what type of person they are, how can they add value to our organization, and return, how can we find ways to improve them. And
can you give us misconceptions that you faced when you were looking at the Philippines as an outsourcing place?
Oh, sure. I think when we are talking about the international market, whether it's the UK, the US, or even Australia, I think the common misconception is that Philippines has not developed to the stage that it has right now. And I think it's because of a lack of media attention in the Philippines. So one of our challenges is to be able to show to them that, hey, here in the Philippines, there are buildings, there are offices, that's very, very much like in any part of the developed world. Yes, there are extremes of poverty, but at the same time, the infrastructure exists for people to come in and be able to work without any issues. So that becomes, I guess, the greatest barrier that we need to overcome. I guess the second part of it is to help people understand that how well educated the talent and the people in the Philippines can be, how well experienced they are in dealing with some of the requirements. So those are the 2 really big barriers for us to overcome.
Since you're here in the Philippines right now and you're visiting, can you share with us any memorable experiences that you have here in the Philippines?
Oh, I have so many. Philippines is like my second home now. I'm here almost every 2 months. But look, I think for me personally, it's about people. One of the things I always try to do in my trip is to find someone who we can encourage and take them to the next stage. We found someone within our own team who had a lot of different education to what she was doing right now, and what we did with that person was to encourage her to take on more of a project management role. And we're, on my trip here, it was just great to see how much she has learned and gone to that next level, to see the level of confidence that she has, and what an asset she has become to the company. So for me, those are the real rewarding moments.
And for our last question, how can anyone who's interested in technical business services get in touch with you, either potential clients or even employees?
Sure. Well, Look, I'm more than happy to leave you with my direct email address. I tend to be very hands-on and involved with my clients and potential staff members. So my email is david@tbservices.com.au. Drop us an email. Tell us what your challenges are if you're a potential client. Tell us about you if you're a potential employee, and someone from our team, if not myself, will definitely get in contact with you.
Awesome, and we appreciate your time, Sohan. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you so much for your time.
Again, that was Sohan David, founder of Tactical Business Services. If you've missed this interview or want to listen to it again, you can go on outsourcing.com.ph, and you can also find us on SoundCloud and iTunes. Hi, I'm Henry Acosta, and welcome to the Outsourcing and Offshoring in the Philippines podcast. Today we have a special guest. It's Gerard Lacbayan Jr. He's a graduate of Information Management at Tarlac State University. He graduated with high honors in 2008 and has been working with Expert Global Solutions since then. Through his hard work and dedication, he got promoted from being a technical support representative, team manager, and eventually becoming senior manager of operations. He's a homegrown talent and a longtime employee of EGS, and today we're here to talk about EGS and the Philippines and how it's growing as a very popular country for outsourcing. So hi Gerard, can you give us a quick introduction about who you are and what you do for Expert Global Solutions?
All right, I'm Gerard Lacbayan. I'm 28 years old and I'm a senior manager for Expert Global Solutions. I've been with this company for 8 years now, and I'm proud to be a homegrown talent for a company. I started as a technical support representative and worked my way up the corporate ladder from becoming an apprentice supervisor to a full-time supervisor to a manager and now to a senior manager.
Awesome. And what inspired you or what pushed you to go work for Expert Global Solutions?
To be very honest, I wasn't really keen in building a career in the BPO industry at first. I was one of the typical Filipino who were very skeptical of this new industry that fled the country, that arrived here in the country. But I guess it was really fate that brought me here. First and foremost, back then I was curious about the prestige that the company brings, that the company has in its name. And true to their prestige, I indeed found a career haven here in EGS. They indeed live up to their expectations or to their tagline that you come for the job and you stay for the career. So from then on, I never looked back, and I'm very proud to have really found an illustrious career here in this company.
What do you think makes the Philippines different compared to other countries that service offshore outsourcing, and what are the main benefits of doing it here?
Well, first and foremost, I believe Filipinos have an innate ability to be very, very caring and accommodating, regardless of whoever they speak with. I think it's the genuine and sincere intention to really help and be of service to people that really makes us thrive in this kind of industry. And then secondly, I think the reason why a lot of companies prefer the Philippines to be their choice for vendor support is because of, number one, it's cost efficient here. And aside from cost efficiency, we're becoming known to be very, very hospitable. So I think if we compare the kind of service that we do with other countries, the cost efficiencies outweighs our ability to really be of great customer service to any customers that our clients would have.
And when you first started out with EGS, what were the cultural barriers that you faced during your transition period when you started working for EGS?
Oh, that would be the night shift. I guess that's the there. We were all used to working and doing our stuff in the day and sleeping at night, but as soon as you start in the BPO industry, you get culturally shocked. Aside from their culture, it's really the work shift. So that's the biggest adjustment that someone has to really face. But as they say, as you go along, you get accustomed to what used to be culturally shocking practice, and it becomes a norm.
And what do you think makes EGS different from the other outsourcing agencies that are here in the Philippines?
I think what really sets us apart is, number one, we continue to grow exponentially. We are very proud of the steps that we are making to become not just the best in the field, but the biggest in the field. Right now, from being outside of the top 20 in terms of size, we are now proud to announce that we are the third largest in the Philippines right now because of our continuous efforts to really build more verticals across different fields of industry. So our aggressiveness to really employ more people and in the process help them become successful in what they do is what really sets us apart from everybody else.
Can you give us any testimonials, or can you share with us the experiences of your clients with EGS?
Oh, definitely. Number one, with the program that I'm in right now, I'm a part of a logistics program, and I'm very proud to say that because of the quality of service that we render, we've been partners for more than 30 years now, and we have been very instrumental in expanding the lines of businesses that they have, not just through physical interaction, but through voice support, and that helped them become number one in their class. So that's one thing that we're very proud of.
Wow.
And I believe there's another program here, a telecommunications program who has been reaping several international accolades for the kind of customer service that we do for them. So they're now becoming the strongest force in telecoms in the United States because of exceptional customer service that we provide here in EGS.
So can you give us the mission and vision of EGS?
Our vision is very simple. Our purpose and our belief is just to make lives better. It's just making one great interaction at a time. Our mission, it's another simple statement. It's just to create an insanely great customer experience.
And with regards to employees who are interested in working with EGS, can you give us an insight on the processes and what do you look for when you hire employees?
Like any other company, we do have our own screening processes, but if we are to look at the core competencies, we're just looking for someone who can embody the ideals of our founders, and that's trust, someone who has trust, someone who can be respected, someone who has integrity, someone who can be a team player and who can thrive in teamwork, and someone who can really excel and be engaged in what they do. That's alongside all these other technicalities we have in our hiring process.
And with your experience so far, can you say that the businesses of your clients have grown considerably since they started working with EGS?
Oh, absolutely. I couldn't be any more proud of how we've helped our clients to be at the top of their heap with their partnership with us. And we are so excited to the future that we still have with the many more years that we have with them.
When you have people or potential clients inquire to EGS, what are the common misconceptions that you usually tackle about outsourcing here in the Philippines?
I guess the common misconception about outsourcing here in the Philippines is the fact that we lag in terms of speaking fluency, which I believe we have completely overcome. I think the fact that we have been growing and we have overtaken other countries as far as headcount and company size is concerned is a testimonial to our success in really becoming the partner of choice for companies. So we've really taken our opportunities seriously, and we have been improving significantly over the last few years, and it really shows in the strength and numbers that we have.
And do you have any memorable experiences that you can share with us while working with EGS?
There are a lot, actually, but I guess the most memorable would be the most recent one. when I finally got promoted as a senior manager. I think it's a culmination of my 8 years of a journey in this company, where I once dreamt of becoming part of a senior leadership role. It was a long ride, a long, challenging and exhausting ride, I should say, but was worth all the wait.
Congratulations. And with anyone who's interested with Expert Global Solutions, either potential clients or employees, how can they get in touch with you guys?
All they have to do is just log into our website. They can visit our social media page in Facebook, or they can go to egscorp.com/about, or they can also visit another homepage that we have. That's www.alorica.com. Not been known to many. I'm not sure if it has been made public already to all fronts in public media, but we have merged with Alorica. So you, from time to time, they might come across two different business names, but we're just one entity right now. So we're still holding our name, Expert Global Solutions, but in the future, we would be known as Alorica.
Awesome. And that's all for the interview, and thank you for being with us. It was a pleasure having you, Gerard.
Pleasure is all mine. Thank you so much.
Again, that was Gerard Lacbayan Jr., one of the many homegrown people that's been loyal to Expert Global Solutions. He's now one of their senior managers of operations and has been helping the company grow since he started working with them 8 years ago. Thanks for being on the show, and for everyone out there, thank you for listening. If you missed the show, it's available for listening on offshoring.com.ph, and you can also subscribe to us on SoundCloud and iTunes.
You're listening to our regular podcast, Offshoring and Outsourcing, and now one of our sponsors is joining us to have a chat. It's Adam O'Connor. Adam's a sales director with CloudStaff, a business process outsourcer based predominantly in Clark in the Philippines, but also with offices in Manila. Adam, welcome to Offshoring and Outsourcing.
Thanks, Wayne. Good morning. How are you?
I'm very well, and thank you for joining us as a sponsor. Adam, can you fill us in on what it is that CloudStaff offers to the market?
CloudStaff offers a wide range of different skill sets to the market. We provide a low-cost offshore solution for Western businesses to be able to utilize the skills that we have here and make sure that they're getting the right people at the right cost for their businesses.
Now, Adam, where would you position CloudStaff in the spectrum of business process outsourcers? I mean, some have as few as 10 or 20 staff, and some have thousands of staff. Where do you fit into the spectrum?
Currently, we're just over 1,000 staff. In terms of the skill sets that we do, we focus on a wide range of skills, which allows companies to have a team of differentiating skills and competencies within one location. We don't focus on just one area, such as accounting or teleservices. We bring teams together that work for the same company.
Adam, some of the businesses that we talk to make a big distinction between offshoring and outsourcing. Where do you see CloudStaff sitting?
I think we are an offshoring company. I think you can outsource within the same country as you're in. A lot of companies, if we use Australia as an example, will outsource their IT functions to a company within Australia. The offshoring element means we do have an Australian entity, but we primarily focus all of our talent that we give to companies from the Philippines at this moment in time.
And who's your typical customer, or if that's not a fair question, can you give us a portrait of some of your customers?
Our typical customers are from the SMEs, small to medium enterprise category, anywhere from sort of 5 people in their office all the way up to 2,000, 3,000 people within their Western office with their teams over here.
So, Adam, SMEs who are only looking for a few staff shouldn't be put off contacting you then?
No, absolutely not. We're happy to help everybody, and we look to help everybody that we can.
And what about the larger players who are looking for a particular service, if it be someone looking to do accounts receivable for them, or someone looking to chase outstanding debts? Do you do that kind of
one service arrangement that some of the bigger BPOs do?
Yes, we do. We do large teams within one vertical for companies, but we find that once somebody's got something working quite well, that they'll look to expand. But we definitely focus on one vertical if a customer wants to.
Now, Adam, I notice on your website that the catch cry or the slogan, if you will, and I'll mention the website, www.cloudstaff.com, the catch cry is people and technology at the heart of everything we do. Can you unpick that for us and explain how people are at the heart and how technology is at the heart of CloudStaff?
The people that are at the heart of everything that we do, because we feel that we can supply the talent of a similar standard to the West in the roles that our customers are looking for at a fraction of the cost. To make this easy for our customers, we provide a technology suite that we've developed ourselves, which faces both the employees within CloudStaff and the employees within Australia, and also the customer's manager view to have a look across everything. We have web applications, we have mobile applications, and we have systems to help make the transition really easy as well.
Pretty much everyone I talk to says the two things or three things that kind of everyone in the Philippines in the outsourcing industry talks to me about is that they have excellent infrastructure and they have excellent technology and they have excellent pools of recruits. You develop a lot of your technology in-house. Is it unique?
A lot of it is unique, Wayne. We bring together systems that we have developed ourselves into a suite which is easy accessible and gives you an unfair advantage, I guess, if I can be bold to say that allows you to train staff, keep communication with staff all from one portal. This allows us to keep up to date with what the customer's looking for, what the account managers on the ground in the Philippines are looking at, and keeps everybody informed on a real-time basis. I
see. I understand that you're an Australian firm. Is that the extent of your corporate structure?
No, we have entities in the UK, Australia, and Hong Kong, as well as in the Philippines here.
And is there an advantage to the customer in you having that multiple entity arrangement?
Customers are able to bill out of either Hong Kong or Australia. Some of our customers, not all of our customer base is based out of Australia. Depending on where customers are based, they can choose which entity to bill out of and which entity to actually hold a contract with.
What about management? Is your management Australian-based?
No, our management is all on the ground in the Philippines, and we combine Filipino management and Western management as well.
Now, that's another thing that I hear a lot from BPOs is that they have Filipino managers. Are they senior managers within CloudStaff?
We do have some senior management. The senior management team of CloudStaff is split between Western and Filipino.
Oh, I see. Adam, we're running out of time, but if you had a message for prospective customers about why CloudStaff is the place they should be looking for their offshoring, what would the message be?
I guess CloudStaff has four key differentiators from ourselves and competition. One of them is how we recruit. Everybody has the same set of talent that they recruit from, but we have recruitment locations situated in Makati, here in Clark, and also down in Cebu, which gives us the breadth of the Philippines. We use the training simulators that places candidates in real-world situations, so when they come to our customers, they're fully prepared. We're able to write those training systems with the help of our customers specifically for them. Our systems that we've already covered previously make the ongoing relationship between the staff here in the Philippines and the staff in the West, wherever you may be, seamless and easy. Our ecosystem of tools with mobile apps for the staff here allows them to be able to carry on working no matter what's going on. And our culture, we have an aim to be the number one workplace in the Philippines. We put in a lot of strategy around retention and keeping our staff happy. We have a number of different social events outside of work, such as monthly barbecues, but we also have clubs that the staff join with outside interests to make sure that we are one big family. And I would encourage anybody who's interested to actually come over here and have a look at the operation themselves, which I'd be happy to show them, and they can see it for themselves.
Adam, speaking of people coming over to see you, how do people get in touch with you?
If they can either via the website, which is www.cloudstaff.com, or alternatively, they can email me directly at adam@cloudstaff.com.
And that's Cloudstaff, CLOUDSTAFF, all one word.
Correct.
Adam, it's been a pleasure having you on Offshoring and Outsourcing, and we do thank you for your sponsorship of the podcast.
Thanks, Wayne. I appreciate the time.
Hello and welcome to the Outsourcing and Offshoring in the Philippines podcast. Today our guest is Stefan Vermeulen. He's a member of the Dutch Institute of Certified Public Accountants, and he has a master's degree in Information Management. He is also the Chief Financial Officer of ICTS International NV, a NASDAQ-listed aviation security provider. He's been holding that position for the last 4 years. He's also held various senior financial leadership positions at blue-chip companies such as Shell, Sara Lee, and Deloitte. Last but not least, he is the owner and CEO of D&V Philippines Outsourcing. Alongside him today is Jennifer Santos. Jennifer is the marketing manager of D&V Philippines. She has 8 years of experience in customer and marketing relations. She graduated cum laude at Adamson University here in the Philippines. Today, they're both in studio with us to talk about outsourcing here in the Philippines. Hi, Stefan and Jennifer, and welcome to the show. It's great having you guys here.
Hello, thank you very much for having me.
Hi, everyone.
Hi. So for our first question for today, can you give us a quick introduction about who you are and what you guys do for D&V Philippines?
Yeah, well, D&V Philippines, we're based in Makati City. That's the business district of Manila. We're basically a professional services firm specializing in finance and accounting. So about 150 people, most of them are CPAs, like myself, then Filipino CPAs. So we focus on finance and accounting. So what we do is typically bookkeeping, accounting, monthly financial reporting, compliance, and then mainly for foreign clients. We have a Filipino base, it's about 5%, but 80% of our business is Australian, 10% US. Long story short, we're a really professional services firm specializing in finance and accounting.
And what inspired you to building the company out here in the Philippines?
Philippines has an enormous amount of talent, really cool talent. You mentioned something about my background. Besides being a CFO, I used to be an internal auditor in American companies a long time ago, although I'm not that old, but a long time ago. I think it was in the 90s already, and I used to work with Filipinos. Great people, very, very intelligent, very talented, besides the English that everybody knows, but especially in the finance and accounting world, there's really an amazing amount of talent here. So this is really a really good place to set up your shared service center for finance and accounting. That's what the big multinationals do. So when you need to start a company, when you want to start a company for finance and accounting and you need a country, then the Philippines is a great place. So you will actually be amazed. Sometimes they say one of the export products of the Philippines is its people. Actually, if you look, for instance, if you go to the big accounting firms or big multinationals worldwide in the United States, Australia, all over Europe, you will run into a lot of Filipinos. Very strong, very competent, very experienced, good people with a lot of specific, really cool expertise. So great place to be.
What do you think makes the Philippines different from other countries that service the same businesses as you guys?
Western culture. Besides the fact, of course, that the talent is there. English is widely spoken, a very good education system. For instance, we have a lot of Australian clients. For them, it's a very good match to be with the Philippines. It's relatively near, but also cultural is actually a good match. So a lot of good people. Also, for our specific needs, accounting, very American-based training system, schooling system. So it's very good match for what we need in terms of skills, expertise for our clients.
And were there any cultural barriers that you faced when you first started out here in the Philippines?
Yes, one of my favorite lines is culture trumps everything. And so usually when we have new clients, I always tell them there's three things that need to work. It's communication, relationship, and training. And culture affects all three of them. So yes, it has to do. You have to understand the culture here. It's like any culture. See, I'm in Holland. I'm Dutch. Dutch people can be quite to the point. Sometimes we come across as a bit rude and blunt. We don't mean it like that, but it's just that's the way we are. So the small things like that can have a big impact. So yes, there are cultural gaps which you need to manage.
And tell us a little bit about your company. Can you give us the mission and vision of D&V Philippines?
Basically, what we want to be is a recognized expert in the field of finance and accounting. So forget outsourcing, forget offshoring. We just want to be an expert in the field of finance and accounting, and we just happen to have clients all over the globe. So as we are today, 80% of our clients are from Australia, 10% from the US, but we also have clients from Sweden, from Cayman Islands, from Abu Dhabi. Hey, we even have some clients from the Philippines. It's almost like an emerging market company specialized in finance and accounting, if that makes sense.
What do you think makes the D&V Philippines different from other agencies out here that give the same services?
Well, for instance, if you are in a company in Australia, just to give you an example, and you want to outsource the full set of books, we actually give a solution. So we render a service. So we don't do seat leasing, we don't lease you staff. So it's not a typical BPO company in that sense. So because we specialize, we have our niche, and we focus on finance and accounting, even for the smaller clients, like if you only need less than 1 FTE, for instance, which is perfect for us, which will fit nicely with us. So we actually sell you a solution, a service, which means we provide backup, continuity, training for our people, different levels of expertise. So even if you're in an Aussie or US company, we'll put in front somebody who has experience already with your country and the specific rules of compliance and regulations, etc. And then we'll put some juniors as well, but they'll be reviewed. So it's more like a service provider that renders, we really offer a solution and a service rather than just seat leasing.
And what will be your advice for anyone who's planning to do outsourcing here in the Philippines?
Well, number one, really try to understand the culture. So go here. And what I mentioned earlier is the relationship communication training. So if we look at the clients that we've done this now for a number of years, and if we look at the clients that really went smooth, that have no hiccups and have a very easy actually to start up, what happened is they came to the Philippines, they spent time with the team, and they took time to invest in training and invest in the people. So they went really to the country. At the later stage, our people actually visited them, whether it was in Australia or in the US or in Europe. So it helps to cement the relationship. It's really good for team building. So really invest time, come to the Philippines, understand the culture, understand the people, try to build a relationship with the people, which is always important, but I think in the Filipino culture even more. We always really encourage our clients to visit us. We love to have visitors here in our office. And of course our people love to go abroad and visit clients as well. But that investment in the beginning, that will take time.
How has been the experience of the clients you've worked with? Can you share with us any stories or any testimonials from them?
Sure, we actually love to share testimonials, and we have a couple of those on the website as well. I mean, we have over 150 clients. We have actually quite a number of smaller clients that are with us already for many years. They became like ambassadors in the marketing sense. So don't forget also in our case, like 60-70% of new clients is word of mouth. So it's referrals. So we really get a lot of new clients. So, but it can be any kind of client. It can be a professional services firm based in Australia, the US, that need an extension of their practice and have a bunch of CPAs or whether it's compliance or bookkeeping, like assistants with us, junior to senior. It can be a CFO who needs help with accounts payable, or needs a financial controller or a financial analyst, and we're an extension of their department. It can be many, many different things.
So with your process for recruiting clients, is it mainly only word of mouth, or do you have any other ways or how you recruit clients?
Mainly today it's word of mouth. Yeah, I think Jennifer 60-70%. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Before now, I mean, a few years ago, before Jennifer came on board, I was trying to do the marketing, so that was not really good. It was Stefan, the accountant, doing marketing. So when Jennifer came on board in 2013, that was a big quality push. So we get also clients, of course, they Google, they find us, so a bit of the, thanks to our inbound efforts.
Since we do have some tours or, what do you call it?
A lot of visitors
from Australia, so delegations, and in which they are very interested in outsourcing opportunity in the Philippines. So they usually visit us here in the office and take a look at our operations.
But actually, we use social media as well for cold sales, so to speak. We actually use social media to reach out. So that has been successful in the past as well. But by far, 60-70% is driven by word of mouth and referrals.
I have a question for both of you. So, can you give us an insight on the process of recruiting employees, and what do you look for when you hire an employee for D&V Philippines?
Well, first of all, it's what we recruit for is attitude. That's number one. We get a lot of we have university, but we also have actually people who have worked in, like, say, audit firms in the Philippines, or like a controller, so experienced hires. But mainly we look for two things: is attitude and basically eagerness to learn. So fast learning is what we need. What we need. For instance, we have Australian accounting firms. What they are looking for is for really specific Australian compliance, or US with sales tax or whatever. And it's hard to find them, so we usually train them ourselves. So when we have people with the right mindset, of course, with the right background and with the right attitude and fast learners, then it's usually a good match. Also there you'll see, by the way, a lot of the experienced hires we get also through word of mouth. So it's the same thing. So it's our current people who actually have friends who they recommend, or former office mates who join us at a later stage. So, but the key thing for us, generally speaking, what we try to do is we have a very young crowd. I think that's a general practice in the office.
Which we call the millennials.
Yeah. Correct. So basically, we try to recruit from below so that we can actually offer people career growth, so that they feel that they progress in their careers as well.
What are the common misconceptions that you usually face with clients when they're asking about outsourcing here in the Philippines?
The first thing is that a lot of clients think you can only do basic stuff here, like data entry. Whereas our philosophy in finance and accounting is we try to automate what we can. So a lot of the data entry today, you can actually automate already. And we focus on the other stuff where you really need a bit of experience and specialized skill. So we, for instance, make a distinction between transaction processing and closing the books. Transaction processing is mostly what clients think that we can do, and we do as well. There's not always as a business case for automation, but in a lot of cases it can be automated already. So what we focus on is closing the books. So sometimes clients are surprised actually what kind of level of work you can bring to the Philippines. The other thing is sometimes what the clients make a mistake. They think that if you just you throw some work over the email to the other side of the world, you don't manage a virtual team properly, then it's not going to work. So you need to invest in managing a virtual team with people in various different locations. So you really need to know how to do that. So that's why I mentioned earlier, they need to invest some time in setting up, building, and managing the team, the virtual team. Then it works.
How long have you been staying here in the Philippines, Stefan? And can you share with us any standout or any memorable experience that you went through here in the Philippines?
Well, I'm here now pretty much, I would say, close to 10 years. It's very different from 10 years ago. I think, I'm not even sure Global Bonifacio City 10 years ago was there. So tremendous growth. The country is really doing well. So it's getting better every day here. So I love the country. It's a great place. Besides work, it's a great place to travel around, visit really many, many beautiful islands. So I love to be here. It's really a cool place.
For Jennifer, can you share with us any memorable experiences that you had with D&V Philippines?
Okay. So at first, it was really challenging for me because I'm working, and I'm the only marketing person in the beginning, working with the accountants. So the challenge is to, make the company become more lively, because connotation for accountants is that they sometimes boring, and the typical one. However, in the long run, I can see that the D&V Philippines actually have this young professionals in which they are very active and very interested in all the type of work that you give them. So basically, the staff here are very young, dynamic, fresh ideas, very talented people.
For anyone who's interested in D&V Philippines, either potential clients or employees, how can they get in touch with you guys, and where can they find you here in the Philippines?
Well, the best way is probably to go to our website, dvphilippines.com.
Well, you can actually find us anywhere in Facebook, Twitter, Google, Google Plus, or LinkedIn. So we're pretty much everywhere in social media. So the physical office is located at the Makati City. So we are located at the Enterprise Center. We are on the Tower 2, 23rd floor, Tower 2, Enterprise Center, which is in Makati City.
Well, that's all of our questions for today. Thank you, Stefan and Jennifer, for being on the show.
Thank you very much for having us.
And that was Stefan Vermeulen, owner and CEO of D&V Philippines. Alongside him is Jennifer Sanos, the marketing manager of D&V Philippines. It was great having you guys here in studio. I'm Henry Acosta, and thank you for tuning in. You've been listening to the Outsourcing and Offshoring in the Philippines podcast. If you've missed this podcast and want to give it another listen, you can go on our website at www.offshoring.com.ph. You can also find us on SoundCloud and iTunes.
You have been listening to an episode of Offshoring and Outsourcing Philippines, a regular production of Vertical Internet Media Limited, Hong Kong, which produces internet media content for internet radio and podcasting. And you may have also heard this week Henry Acosta and Patrick Reyes. The opinions expressed on this program are strictly those of the speaker. They are not the opinions of either Vertical Internet Media, its management, or the presenters of the show. To get in touch with Vertical Internet Media Limited, head off to our website at www.offshoring.com.ph, or you can call our Australian number 0731 779900, and the voice prompts will direct you through to Offshoring and Outsourcing. It's been my pleasure to have you with us today. I wish you a very good day.